Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for continuing to join me on my channel and to hear my story, my experience, and my entire ascension journey. So I've been in this place, as I've been saying, kind of the last few videos of kind of universe puts you in different places at different times for you to learn different lessons. And coming to the end of my journey, I'm in my ninth personal year, so there's going to be a lot of endings. And this 9 year journey, which started in 2017, really, but my physical journey happened as of 2020 and kind of exactly ended the beginning of this year, like 2025. But there's like the residual um, things that it's kind of like taking everything that I've learned for the last 9 years and unpacking it. So it's like the universe has put me kind of in this isolation period of being very still, being very quiet, and really no access to. I had sold my, it was weird because I had got this inclination to sell my car. So I don't have a car at this time. And there's a few people that I know here in the building, who will take me if I need to go to the store or something like that. But it's like kind of just really sitting and being and unpacking all the lessons that I've learned throughout these last 9 years. And who I was 9 years ago is totally not who I am today. I'll say that for a fact. I would even want to go back to who that was. And the universe is going to also send people in during this period of time to kind of say, have you learned the lessons of these last 9 years? To kind of push your buttons, to say, are you sure you've learned these lessons? And really going deep to say, how do I now react to people that do try to push those buttons? And my reaction is going to be totally different. Also, kind of really reflecting on everything that I went through and the people who I came across, and how, if you've been listening to my story, following my journey, it's on a different playlist, but really, how really mean people can be, and understanding that they came into my life for a reason. Um, some of them were karmic soulmates that were coming back in another lifetime, from another lifetime, in order to repeat a cycle with me to say, okay, I'm here to again take you through this cycle. Are you going to learn your lesson this time? And those are the ones that are really extreme. So you'll know who those karmic partners are. Doesn't mean that they're going to be a romantic partner or whatever. But if you have something that happens like with someone that is extremely um, difficult, hard, could be a family member, and you may care really deeply for this person. You can't believe that they would ever treat you the way that they do. And it's for you to say, I care more about myself than this relationship with this person, even if they are a family member. So that's why I say, kind of thinking that, looking back and saying, oh my goodness, like these people really treated me badly. Like it was so bad in some circumstances, but also to say that if they wouldn't have come and at the time that we agreed upon before we both came into this lifetime, our soul contract, to meet up and for them to take me through this lesson I needed to go through, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am now. So, sending that person off with love because they did come through for me. As hard as it was being to say, did you really treat me like that? Even one of my situations was like so mentally and emotionally abusive. Well, a couple of them, but one with a family member, and to say that I can't believe that this is someone I was related to. But you get to this point of really thinking, wow, if not for these lessons, I would not have been able to go through my ascension and have this rebirth that I'm in right now in order to go into my next life. So just wanted to help you guys to understand that as difficult as some relationships may be, and a big part of your ascension is learning how to deal with these different relationships. Um, this also comes into focus with the divine partners because, we hear about twin flames and divine partners and a divine feminine and the divine masculine, and there's the runner chaser and all that, which in some parts, yes, are true, but not everyone who it's become like a pop culture kind of terminology where people say, oh, this is my twin flame and everything. Believe me, it's so much deeper and it's not a great situation of going through this. But if you are on your ascension journey, there's probably a big chance that you are going through a twin flame relationship. And if you are the feminine, um, you no longer chase if you were chasing, and there is a big ending usually. Um, in most cases, this person will come back because you have a soul contract with that person. But they have to go through their own changes in order to come back in a different, they have to go through their own rebirth in order to come back as a whole, complete soul that's been healed just like you do. Or vice versa, if you're the masculine and they're the feminine, whatever it may be for your circumstance. And I've gotten to the point where there's no anger towards that person because it's more like I'm so thankful that you released me when you did, or I would not have gone through this rebirth period that I'm going through in order to now dig deep and say, what lessons have I learned? What am I taking with me into this next life? And what have I gotten rid of that no longer serves me from my first life, if that makes sense? Okay. So I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully that helps you guys. Again, the universe has, I guess, using me as an example to say for whoever you are going through this ascension process to, if you're, you know, want to understand more, to kind of follow my story because I've gone through the complete thing. And getting ready to now, I'm going to say graduate. It was so funny. I had this dream the other day, and I saw one of my neighbors who had overalls on. I hadn't seen anyone in overalls in the longest time, and I've been wanting a pair of overalls for a while. But anyway, we chatted and went to bed that night, and there was this, I don't know if it was a teacher, guide, whoever it was, and I had on overalls. You know how it has the buckles here where you snap, bring it over and snap it right here. But on there, it was kind of like wording. And he gave me whatever, it was kind of like saying, okay, um, say you're in high school, right? And you have like you're a senior in high school. So say mine said senior or whatever. But he gave me new buckles to undo. I know it sounds crazy to undo, and I had to put on these new buckles. And it was kind of like, I don't know exactly what I said, but it's like the thing of you graduated. So it kind of said I graduated on there on both buckles. And it was like the weirdest thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, so Spirit's trying to tell me. And it's funny how they use things that you come across in your life, everyday life, that have meaning in some way. And I just saw this neighbor with these overalls on, and then it came into my dream. But anyway, um, so do pay attention to your dreams because you never know what kind of signs the universe is trying to show you or tell you, something that you'll just see, your everyday life, and then later on it's shown to you. But I just thought that was the funniest thing. But anyway, if you would like to speak to me more about your own journey, to learn more about my journey, you have any questions, like a reading, there is a link below to spend time with me, and I'll see you in the next one.